The man studied the keys on the guard's belt, then went back to his cell and drew the shape of the key from memory. That night, he used a piece of paper to trace both the outer and inner outlines of the keyhole. Finally, he created a detailed key blueprint. The next day, he went to the carpentry shop and carved out a rough shape of the key. He then used a file to carefully grind it down to match the exact contour. After working through the night, he finished a wooden key. When he inserted it into the lock and turned it, the cell door clicked open, but there were many more doors to get through. He realized he would have to make copies of every key on the guard's belt. So for the next 6 months, he studied the guard's keys every day, then went back at night to carve them. In the end, he finished keys for all 15 doors plus 20 for extra copies. He and his accomplices hid the leftover wood shavings by burying them in the ground. At night, they tested which key fit which door. In one night, they managed to unlock all the prison gates. However, they still needed a map to escape being the main gate, so the man traded cigarettes and soap to a garbage worker in exchange for a map. They decided to break out during lunch hour. He invited all the prisoners to join, but the older inmates didn't believe an escape could ever work. Then the three of them moved to a corner and changed into civilian clothes they had prepared. They each had clear roles. After the man unlocked a door, his friend would close it behind them. They opened 13 doors this way. When they reached the 14th door, the key didn't go all the way in. They lost more than 10 minutes. Finally, the lock turned just one door left, but none of the keys worked on the final door. His friend closed his eyes in despair. Then he noticed the door was hollow and made of wood, so he grabbed a small knife and started carving. 10 minutes later, they broke the lock. They quickly changed back into civilian clothes to disguise themselves. After walking through the 15th door, the man used a mirror to check for guards and avoid them. When they reached the main gate, they followed the map and began their escape. Once they got far enough away from the prison, they flagged down a taxi and headed for another city.